Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. It's a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews, and today we are doing a special rewind, 1970s rewind, and we are reviewing Mahogany with Diana Ross from 1975, I believe. And we're sipping on vodka and Bailey's. Yes. So strong. So very strong. How you doing? What's going on? So I probably watched this movie as a kid and forgot about it because my mom was like a cinephile, and so she was like into movies and shit. So I probably watched this at some point. But I didn't know what it was about. I heard about it throughout the years and things like that. I knew Diana Ross was in it. And I knew that it was very stylized and very pretty and very wonderful looking. And then I watched it again like earlier this year, and it pissed me the hell off. Now I'm watching it again for a review because it pisses me the hell off. Welcome to a woman that is trapped, that is manipulated, that cannot live her freedom and be the butterfly that she is because these emotional jealous niggas are jealous of her greatness, and they try to like couch it and cover it up like it's a romance. It's not a romance. It's a woman that is defeated by the end of this movie and decides to give in to niggas dimming her light and calling it love. It's not. So Diana Ross in this movie plays Tracy, and I feel like this movie is the black version of What a Way to Go. And in What a Way to Go, Shirley MacLaine is this gorgeous ass woman, and she keeps falling in love with these men that start off broke and they ain't got money, and she's fine with that. She just loves them for them and just shows up for them and all this other stuff, but they start making it rich once she gets with them. So basically she's a lucky charm. Where they fuck up is that they don't realize she's the lucky charm, and so they start focusing on making more and more money instead of focusing on her and pouring into her as well. And so they start to forget about their relationship with her and lean extremely into making money, and then all of her husbands end up dead. And so she ends up blaming herself throughout the movie, like she's the problem because, like, you know, she's the lucky charm that makes them rich, and then they forget themselves, and then they die. And so her goal is to marry the poorest man she can find. So because she thinks that like money and stuff is evil and whatever. And the reality of that movie is that no, girl, you were the lucky charm, and these men were so emotional and so overwhelmed by having you that they thought that they had to climb these ladders and do better, and then they got hyper focused on presenting themselves to the world as a certain way, and they forgot about you. And they forgot to feed into their lucky charm, and the lucky charm is what brought you the stuff. And so Mahogany is kind of like that. Like Diana Ross is the lucky charm in this bitch. She's this wonderful, magical, possibly neurodivergent woman that is like this goofy, funny butterfly. She speaks very bluntly. She twirls. She makes art. She wants to be a designer one day. She has all these goals and dreams and wonderful things, and she's being shot down at every corner. Like she goes to school to design and stuff. Her teacher doesn't want her to make too flamboyant of clothing. The store that she works with, the lady doesn't want her to be too upfront and too out there, like the dude that comes to take the pictures and stuff for the magazine, for the store, for the client that needs the picture taken or whatever. Like he wants to make her one of his models, and the lady is like, no, she's just my secretary, and the client doesn't want to have too flamboyant of a such and such, so they don't want a nigga in a magazine, basically. And so she starts the movie off just being this fun, adventurous girl that just likes to create and do amazing things, that has this dream of being, you know, a designer, and it's supposed to be magical and wonderful and great, right? That's the life that she wants for herself. Now she has to fight, and she is able to stand up for herself and set certain boundaries, and she's not scared to set these boundaries. Like when niggas try to push her down, she tries even harder to climb that ladder. She don't give a fuck. She will do what she needs to do to get where she wants to go. Like she was walking home from work one night, and this man started following her, and then she just turned around and started acting like she was a prostitute. Like, hey man, you know, $50 for some ass. You got some money? You got some money? And then the nigga was like, oh, you a hoe. And then like she just walks off, and he just is like, oh, my luck, it's a hoe. So you just wanted her to be a regular bitch that wasn't a sex worker? Like so you were in it for the rape. That's what I'm hearing. So you were in it for the rape. And when you found out that she was a sex worker and she charges money for sex, it was like, oh, there's no rape involved in this. So disgusting. I'm just niggas. And so one day, like she's walking home from work, the man follows her, she brushes him off, and then she gets to her apartment, and there's Billy D. So Billy D's goal is to climb the ladder and be like the congressman or the alderman of his neighborhood and shit. And he's talking about how, you know, they're coming in and tearing down buildings and building projects and not helping the people in the neighborhood and all this other stuff. Valid. And you know, she's you know, he tries to flirt with her a little bit while he's doing his little speech in the neighborhood, and she just fucking with him, and she tells him to shut the fuck up because he's being loud. Like they just fucking around back and forth and shit, and then somebody pours milk on her head from above upstairs. I don't know. And then what happens is that at some point they decide to like she sees him again doing his little speech outside and all this other stuff, and so she plays a prank on him and pours milk into his speaker thing, and so when he picks it up, milk falls all on his face, and he thinks it's one of the construction workers that he's been doing speeches to, so he starts to fight and ends up in jail. And so she goes to the jail and writes a check with no money in the bank to get him out of jail, to bail him out. And then he wants to start dating her and shit, right? And she's this fun-loving, happy-go-lucky. They go to the arcade, they playing foosball and shit like that, or whatever, skee ball and shit like that. And foosball, that's what's that Adam Sandler movie? That's not. It's a skee ball with the little disc on the table, and you hit it back. They was at the arcade playing games. She's just this vibrant bitch. She's a vibrant bitch that just wants to be out here creating and doing stuff and become a designer. And slowly but surely, like what starts to happen through the course of them dating is that he just starts to pull her into his shit. And what happens before that is that there's this photographer that comes to her job and it's like photographing models and stuff, right? And she can't be in his magazine because her boss doesn't want her to be in the magazine or whatever, but she basically becomes his muse and starts helping him do photography in the hood, which, you know, white gentrification type racism type shit. Like he got these old people in the hood as background props for the models and shit, and he's paying the models, he's not paying the old people. It's horrible. That day Billy D wants to take her on a date, so she told her to meet her there, right? And so from jump, seeing what she's doing, I get that this, like, I'd be upset too. Like, you with this white man, he's using our people, da 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 da. But like, he coming hard as hell for her and like her career goals and shit. And I'm just like, this is 1975, love. We don't have cell phones. We don't have computers. We don't have social media. We only have what we can build ourselves. Who's to say that she can't build a movement based off of what she wants to do? Who's to say that she can't use the money that she makes from designing? It's about intent. It's about your mindset. It's about what you want to do with it. And so who's to say that she can't build a movement based off of what she wants to do? She has to start from the bottom though. And so there's nobody supporting her, there's nobody pouring into her, so she's making these connections on her own and doing what she has to do, and you sitting up here making her feel shitty about it and talking about, oh well, this is stupid, this is dumb, like they're just using our people and da-da. And she's just sitting there like, well, this is my world, like this is what I want to do, like I want to model and I want to design, and he spotted me and like he wants to like take me far and shit. And this nigga was like, well, have you seen his dark room yet? And has he put you up there and posted you as just another one of his niggas on the? And she's just looking at this nigga like, what is you talking about? Like, because it's wrong, but it's not wrong enough to where she should stop her goals and dreams to not do this, right? Maybe she shouldn't do it with him, but at the end of the day, sometimes you network in the entertainment industry and you end up with fuck ass people. You need to just be able to clock that they're fuck ass people and use them for what you need to use them for and get away from them before they can take advantage of you. That's all you need to do. Because when you start from the bottom, you're going to be dealing with fuck ass people. And so if I can get something out of you without having to open up my vagina for you, nigga, I'm going to get something out of you right before I have to. And then right when you think I'm going to open up my vagina for you, I'm going to dip. I'm going to like, you're not going to know. Like, you're not gonna know that I'm gonna dip, but I'm gonna dip. Like, I'm gonna get what I need and I'm gonna dip. Anyways, so that they break up, and stop talking to each other, and then old dude leaves, right? Like the white dude, he needs to go to Rome. He lives in Rome and all this other stuff, right? We get to him eventually because he's a piece of shit too. And so she goes back to talking to Billy D and shit. Like he's white dude, that's his name is Sean. He says he's going to call on her from Rome and have her come over there to model and shit eventually. And she of course doesn't believe him. She's like, nigga, please. And so she goes back to Billy D and sees him doing his little, like, she runs into him actually because she's at the unemployment office and he's there talking to people trying to get his, nomination out and whatever amongst the folks. And like, she sees him and she's like talking to him out of the crowd like she's just a part of the crowd, but he knows who she is. She's talking about, well, I got 17 kids and my old man left and they all got the flu and blah, 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 blah. And then, they end up starting to date again, right? And slowly but surely, she starts pouring into his campaign. And she's excited for him. Like, she's really excited to pour into his campaign. She's going with him to put the stickers up on the wall for him with his name on it. And she's really excited for this motherfucker. But anytime anything comes up about her designing anything or her wanting to be a model, a designer, or her art, he just brushes it off like it's nothing. And this is the beginning of, no, the beginning was like the white women, her teacher at the design school and her boss and stuff. They were the beginning of telling her that she can't do shit, but she still pushed through and persevered. But then this nigga that she's supposed to like, that's supposed to care about her and love her and want to be with her, like, can't pour into her. Like, it's not possible. And that's what it is with niggas. Like they can't handle your light. Like and it's toxic people. It's toxic people that are lost in their own misery and see you doing better than them. And then they hate it. And then, but in the context of men, because there are so many men out there that are ops that turn around and abuse you and siphon from you because they are jealous of you and have been jealous of you from jump and your success. And I'm looking at Halle Bailey. I'm looking at Keke Palmer. I'm looking at all these beautiful black women that have been siphoned from by these niggas. This is an epidemic because these niggas have emotional issues and they don't be working on themselves. They don't work on building the light within themselves so that they can share their light just like we share our light with them and we can have an even equal exchange and have a good time. No, they see our light and instead of saying, how you get your light? I want to figure out how to be as at peace as you are with being fun and goofy and random and shit like that. I want to be that at peace too. Like, how do you do that so I can learn how to do that and stuff? No, instead of doing that and going to therapy, this movie pissed me off, y'all. I don't like being controlled. I don't like being controlled and told what to do and told that I'm too much and all this other stuff. Like, I don't like it. Instead of doing that, this nigga just decides to dim her light. And there's this one night where she set this whole dinner up for him with a congressman or some shit like that. And she had to go home to like continue because she had a final show in her design class. And she had to go home and make sure all her shit was together for the show, right? And this nigga gonna say, "Oh well, you need to be there with me because like they need to see that we're a united front and da 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 da." And she was like, "No, like I set it up for you, and that's for you. That's not for me and stuff, And so I'm gonna go home and finish preparing my stuff." And he's like, "But it's a week away. Like, what's the big deal? But I need to go home and make sure there's not a string out of place, not a stitch out of place, and all this other stuff." And this nigga gonna go, "Well, it's not even like a real career anyway. So like, why are you even girl?" At this point, I would unalive a motherfucker for telling me that the shit that I enjoy. That's why I can't because you're not gonna come into my life and tell me that what makes me happy is bad. You're not. Like, as long as I'm not hurting myself or anyone else, I'm not being discriminatory, I'm not being derogatory, I'm not being fucked up to people. I just enjoy reading books, watching anime, playing, having a good time. Like, you're not gonna come into my life because the thing is, it's like it's like the magic pixie dream girl thing. You get attracted to our glorious light, our fun-loving ways, and then you get mad when you realize that those fun-loving ways are not just for you. They're for us. Like, I do my photography and all the things that I like to do for me and shit. If other people enjoy it and get inspired by it, then that's wonderful and great, as long as you don't steal from me or copy me. No, find your own path. I hope it encourages and inspires you to find your own individuality in your art. That's what I hope for. You're not going to come and tell me that I'm wrong and I'm conceited and I'm this and I'm that just because you don't know how to find the light inside of you. That's none of my business, love. And then they get upset when they see that, like, you're not just this fun-loving, goofy bitch. You also get depressed. You also have issues with, like, cleaning your home because you get depressed. You have anxiety. You have shit that you're constantly working on and maintaining, but it will still pop up when you get triggered. You have neurodivergencies and you get overstimulated, or you're very passionate and emotional and things about stuff. And it's not just about you. The passionateness is not just about you, nigga. Like, every emotion is passionate, not just love. I saw this meme today and it was talking about how people get surprised when neurodivergence passion isn't just love. It's like they're passionate about everything. All the emotions are passion. I can be passionately hopeful, passionately embarrassed, passionately mad. Like, all of them are out of 10. And I work every day to not be too expressive in front of the neurotypicals, but like sometimes I don't give a fuck and I'm just going to be passionately expressive, and I just, it is what it is. Like, literally, I'll go into public settings and I'll just not say much. I'll just keep quiet because, especially if I disagree with something and like the whole space is in agreement with the thing, I'll just be like, I have to actively tell myself, we're not going to take their toys from them. We're not going to diminish their happiness around this thing that you think is bad. We are not going to do that. You let them have their toys. You let them keep their toys. And people will mistake that for me being shy. No, I'm just letting you keep your toys. Because if I say the logical thing that makes sense, and you're going to get upset, because you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear the logical thing. You want to stay. Most neurotypicals want to stay on the course of dissociating and acting like shit's not happening and not hear the logical thing. And they get their feelings hurt or they get mad at you if you say it. And so most of the time I'm just quiet and smiling. And I'm just like chilling. And niggas think that's me being shy. I'm not shy, love. If you say something to me, I'll talk to you immediately. Strong voice, calm, firm voice, eye contact, everything. And I think people are surprised when I do that because they thought that I was shy. They thought that I was anxious. No, I'm not anxious. There are very many things going on in my head, and I don't know if you can handle it. I don't think you can handle this. I don't think you're ready for all this jelly, honey. But if I bring you into my personal life, you need to be prepared to be ready for all this jelly, or you're not going to be in this personal life. You're not going to be here. You're not going to be here. And this nigga, like, I was so upset with him. I was like, Billy D, what are we Why are you trying to dim her light? Like, this is just who she is. This is what she likes. She can't have a passion. Only you can have a passion. So you don't see her as a person. You see her as an object to have next to you to pour all of your angst into when you get upset. It's an emotional support animal. You see her as an emotional support animal. That's why I was like, at the end when they tried to make it seem like a love story, I was just like, this movie is about just how niggas objectify women and how we end up trapped in situations and shit and trying to make ourselves feel happy in those situations when we're not happy. We're just trying to placate these miserable ass men that don't love themselves and don't want to learn how to love themselves. They just want to like use us to soothe themselves emotionally. They don't want to learn how to soothe their own self. They don't want to learn how to self-soothe. So anyways, that night, white dude calls her, tells her to come to Rome. He wants to get her in front of people. So that night that he wanted her to go to that dinner with the congressman, she said nigga bye and flew to Rome and did what she needed to motherfucking do without support, without nobody on her side. She did. And that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes we put ourselves in situations to follow our dreams, and there's fucked up shit in those situations in order to get to our dreams. And in this situation, with no support, no platform that we can make for ourselves, like there was no YouTube where you could just start making your own YouTube videos and making your own TikToks and just doing your own shit and letting it trend and shit. No, you had to like literally like put up with nigga shit in order to get to where you want to be. That's why the Me Too movement happened, because there were so many women putting up with this nigga shit. And because social media is out there and people were sharing stories, they realized, oh, this is a common thing and we're tired. We're fucking tired. So it was bound to happen. But in this situation, she had to do what the fuck she had to do. She flew to Rome and had to deal with this crazy ass white man. So let's get to Sean's fucking... This nigga is insane. First of all, this nigga is a homosexual. He's on the down low. No, it's not. No, because down low is different from just being regular gay. Down low is you sitting up here letting all the internalized homophobia rule your life, so to the point where like you're doing reckless things in secret, like having unprotected sex with niggas and shit. And this is right on the tip of the AIDS epidemic and shit like that. But even before that, there was shit like syphilis and shit going around to where your shit would fall off. Syphilis makes your body rot off and shit. So there was shit like that going around, and you're doing reckless shit, having unprotected sex with niggas, and then you're shameful of it and getting mad at bitches because you find women beautiful and you're objectifying them, but you don't want to fuck them. You don't want to fuck them. Like, I can find a woman beautiful. I don't want to fuck a woman. Like, it's that simple. Like, that's a beautiful woman. I don't want to fuck you. Like, because I am purely centered in my heterosexuality. It is what it is. Like, I'm okay with that. This nigga's not okay with being gay. Like, he couldn't just be gay. And the funny thing is, you're having parties at your house with obviously LGBTQ people, and they're out and free in the world just being happy and wonderful, and you're sitting up here mad and getting overly attached to your objectified women. So basically, he finds models as his muses and he objectifies them as objects that he can control. And when they start to distance themselves from him, because nobody likes to be trapped, he gets mad and he gets pissed off and shit like that. And I'm just like, my man, I just want you to just love yourself. Just be gay. Just embrace your homosexuality. No, the nigga's not even bi. Like, he tried to fuck the bitch. His penis wouldn't go up. Like, he's not even bi. He's not. He likes men. I need you, because you're hurting people. You're hurting people. And if you're going to be in the closet and fuck niggas, and don't tell nobody if you don't want to, but don't be mad and then put it on other people like it's their fault that you can't come out the closet. Yes, it was a different time and space and it was hard, but you're having parties with a house full of LGBTQ people. So you could have had your own private community, just like Pee Wee Herman had. He had his own little private community where he was still fucking niggas. He just didn't tell nobody. And you know, like you could still do that. Like, why are you putting it on this black woman? So apparently she gets to Rome, she gets to his apartment, and he has this wall covering of this white blonde woman that was his previous muse. And like he just gets obsessed with these bitches. Like low key, he might be trans. He might be a J.K. Rowling. Like they said that bitch, you know, she wrote some, I'm gonna find it and see, I'm gonna try to find it, but somewhere she said she wished she could be a nigga. And she said that if she could be a nigga, that would be great, but like a long time ago she said it. I don't know exactly what she said, but something about she wanted to be a nigga. And the gay community, the LGBTQ community, just like is like, yes, this bitch is a internalized transphobic. She's internalized it, and now she's punishing everybody because deep down inside she's a fucking man. And so the way that he just idolizes and obsesses over these women, but at the same time hates them. There's a lot of niggas in the gay community that hate women though. They hate women. And like, I'm not saying that women haven't done shit to gay people, so I'm not gonna say that, or to trans people, but like I'm gonna go between either this nigga's gay or this nigga's trans. Because the way that he obsesses over this bitch, like he wanted to ingest this hoe. Like it was just weird. It was giving weird. But anyway, she gets to his apartment. She sees this white one plastered all like he calls it a shrine. Like this is his shrine to this white woman. And then there's this one picture of the white woman with darts sticking out the picture, and like he has stabbed the picture and shit like that. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, well, you know, some people never grow out of being immature. And I was just like, honey, there's something wrong with you. And I just wish that Tracy had clocked it. I just wish that she had clocked that there was something wrong with him from that picture. Just from that picture, because before it was a lot of love bombing when he was in what were they in Chicago or some shit. It's a lot of love bombing, so it's hard to know. You know, we didn't know what love bombing was in 1975 like that, so it's hard to recognize the love bombing. Like, oh, this nigga like really likes me and thinks that I'm beautiful and wants to take pictures of me. This is so fun. But no, as soon as I walk into your apartment and I see a picture of a bitch that used to be your muse and now I'm your muse, and this is how you treat your muses, I would just be like, nigga, is this the only way I can accomplish my dream? Like, girl, you know how quick I would have just tried to, at the very least, climb that ladder and get the hell away from him as fast as I could. Find somebody else. And she found other people, but this nigga was attached to her like glue. He wouldn't let her go. He would not let her go, to the point where he almost killed this bitch. Like, the nigga got some issues. Anyway, so then there's this fantabulous, gorgeous montage. I think like they got Dreamgirls, the movie, got they montage from this movie and shit of her just having fun and taking pictures and modeling in all these dresses and posing and angles, and she's having a magnificent time, and this nigga is slowly but surely getting mad at her happiness, getting upset that she is enjoying herself and having a good time modeling and taking pictures and having a marvelous fantastical time. And to the point where one time they're at this fountain in Rome, and he's like, aren't you tired of, you know? And she's like, no, this is fun. This nigga pushed her in the water in this nice fancy dress, pushed her in the fucking water and started laughing at her and then taking pictures and shit, and she's trying to get out the water. And I'm just like, something's wrong. Why? And this is what we have to do when there's no technology, there's no cell phones to call for help, there's no way to build your own platform and shit like that. You have to rely on these motherfuckers and shit. And I just wanted her to have a little bit more self-respect, to be like, you know, I think she did have self-respect though. She was setting boundaries. She was doing the best she could. These niggas broke her the fuck down. They broke her down piece by piece. First, Billy D, he broke her down by just guilting her about her profession, about what she wanted to do, and making her feel bad about it, making her feel like there's something wrong with her and shit like that. Then Sean broke her down by making her feel like she couldn't climb the ladder without him. He tried to make her feel like she couldn't climb the ladder, she couldn't do shit without him. So anyways, like she's getting more and more famous, and like we skip over to Billy D. He's doing his alderman thing and going around the city talking to people and shit like that. And like the old man that's driving the van in the front of the car, he's singing a song talking about the gist of the song was, you use a dumb nigga that lost a good woman, you is. And he just kept singing the song over and over again. And while he's singing the song, the other dude in the passenger seat has this magazine, and he opens it, and it's a picture of now her name is Mahogany, because the white man was talking about how, oh, I always name my objects, so like it's just another objectification. He's admitted to objectifying her. He doesn't see her as a person, he sees her as an object, and so he named his object Mahogany. And so he sees the picture and he just looks all sad and, oh my god, she's just and I'm just like, nigga, all you had to do was love her back. All you had to do was pour into her too. All you had to do was encourage her too. That's all she wanted. Like, I feel like niggas feel like op niggas, they feel like your happiness is fake because they can't feel that level of happiness. So your happiness, it's like The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. Like, I reviewed that movie and shit, so you should watch it. But like, that white man, the boss in that movie, tried so hard to prove that Queen Latifah's joy and happiness was fake that he ended up making himself look stupid. And like, I think that's what niggas be trying to do. They really want to believe that this is fake. Like, you can't be that happy. You can't be that joyful. You can't be that in love with yourself. Like, I love doing self-portraits because it shows my beauty and my joy and my excitement. And I can do it in so many different places and then I can edit it to make it look like so many different things. And it's like fucking amazing and all this other shit. And like, I was watching this nigga take pictures of her in this movie, and I was just thinking to myself, see, that's why I do my own self-portraits, because this nigga is thinking that he owns this bitch because he's taking pictures of her, and he's mad that she's making the pictures her own thing. Like, she's incorporating her own movements, her own clothes, her own style into these pictures. She's making it hers, and he doesn't want that. He doesn't want her to make the art hers. He wants all of it to be about him, and he's mad and he's jealous. And I was just like, I'm glad I do this shit myself, because you're not about to bring your negative energy into my art space, love. You're not gonna do that. Like, you're not gonna I have to really trust the motherfucker to take a picture of me in an art type situation, because nigga, like, you ain't gonna see me like I see myself. Like, I don't trust you to see me and see the joy and the beauty in me like I see the joy and the beauty in myself. I really don't. Because look what happened to this bitch. She was exuberant in the joy and the beauty that she saw in herself, and this motherfucker was mad. He was mad that she was happy. And I hated that for her. I hated that, like, she couldn't just be happy and have other people around her be happy that she was happy. Like, it was an op left and fucking right. I think the only person that really was supportive of her, not even her aunt was shady and shit. Like, she had an aunt that was sewing her clothes for her when she was in Chicago. And like, when the white dude was talking about her going to Rome and shit, she just kept having shit to say. Like, she don't know nothing about no Rome. And girl, bitch. Oh God, it pissed me off. It just felt like she was trapped, and like there was nothing she could do and nobody to help her, and she was just flying by the seat of her pants, just hoping that one of these people will be decent to her and let her shine and be happy in her shining and shine with her. And none of them did. She had to dumb herself down for each and every one of these niggas. And so at some point, like, Sean tries to fuck her, right? And like, I guess like there's gossip amongst the folks that like Sean likes niggas. Like, there's signs and symptoms to show that he's a gay man, and it's okay to be gay, and you should just be gay. And when he was trying to fuck her, she basically was like, no, like he couldn't get it up. Like he couldn't get it up. He couldn't, and so she was just like, it's okay. Like you don't have to prove anything. And then he just went the fuck off and was mad. And then he tried to prove himself and she just let him, I think she like dissociated and let him just touch on her and just like, yeah, whatever, nigga. Like, I don't even like this. And my thing is like, that's how you know it's sexual assault. Just because somebody is laying there and not pushing you off of them or saying no. Why would you want to have sex with somebody that is completely motionless? Why would you want to have sex with somebody that is not touching you back? Like, why would you want to have sex with somebody that looks like they're about to cry? Like, that's how you know. Just like in the last movie, Requiem for a Dream, when I said that bitch didn't want to be fucking them niggas. She was just doing it for the drugs. Like, she would, like, with the psychiatrist nigga that she, like, had sex with, she literally was just sitting there while he kissed on her. Like, she didn't touch him back. She was just like, why would you want to fuck somebody that was not physically, like, showing you that they wanted to fuck you, that looks like they were dissociating, like their face is completely blank? That's why it's sexual assault. Because if I touch somebody in a sexual way and they freeze up, or if I'm trying to ask for consent to have sex with somebody and they freeze up and they look scared, I don't want to touch you. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, oh, wait a minute. Like, you don't want to do, okay, we don't gotta, like, you don't gotta do nothing you don't want to do, love. I'm not, like, the joy in it is them doing shit back to you too. Like, if they just laying there like a fucking corpse, why does that turn you? You know that they're not supposed to lay there like a corpse, right? Like, that's not normal. So if you're continuing on and they're just laying there like a corpse, like, you should just know that they don't want to do this. They shouldn't have to say no. It's the fact that you stick your penis, you touch their vagina and it's dry. Even if it's not dry, but they're still laying there like a corpse. Like, then that's just a bodily reaction at that point. That's not even them even in it. They not even in it anymore. They somewhere else. So anyways, she fuck around with this nigga. This nigga couldn't get it up. And like, she just was like, it's okay, Sean. La 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 la. And I'm just like, I hate this nigga. Like, and then old dude back in Chicago, like, he didn't win alderman. Like, wasn't nobody trying to vote for him. That nigga's a loser. I don't give a motherfucker. That nigga is a loser. And then we had this one scene where like Sean is just deteriorating. Like, he just cannot. And that's what I mean when I say that, like, your light will bring out the worst in motherfuckers, because they cannot handle it. If they can't find a rotten piece inside of you, they can't handle it. They'll crash the hell out. Because they can't understand it. They can't understand somebody that isn't fucking evil like they are. That doesn't wear their insecurities on their sleeves like they do. They just can't comprehend a motherfucker that's just at peace. At peace doesn't mean that you don't have problems, that you don't, but at peace just means that you work through your problems in like healthy ways, like meditate. Like, I bought a pop-up tent and went to the beach and laid out in the sand for 5 hours, and I didn't get sand on me, and it was nice and wonderful and magical. Like, shit like that. Like, that's how I handle my bad feelings. Like, I take pictures when I get upset. Like, literally when I'm overwhelmed or upset, like, my knee-jerk reaction is just to start taking pictures. Just start doing self-portraits. It's a special interest. It helps calm my nerves, especially when I see the results of what I've done. Like, it's magical. It's this immediate soothing balm over my soul, and I just feel like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm so gorgeous. It's magical. You can love yourself and think you're beautiful without being an asshole, and I think that people don't realize that. I don't think he realized that. She was enjoying herself and she felt beautiful, and she wasn't an asshole about it, and he couldn't recognize that. He just could not recognize that nigga was evil. And then what happens is she gets invited to like a charity runway show, right? Where people are like voting on the little outfits that they're wearing, and betting on the outfits, or buying the outfits that they're wearing and stuff like that. And so she decides to go out there in her own creation, because this nigga Sean, at one of the photo shoots, she tried to go out in her own creation, and this nigga Sean was mad that she was trying to show off her own shit in his pictures, and snatched her necklace off of her that she had made, and she slapped him in his fucking face. So she's constantly setting boundaries. She's constantly letting people know that she doesn't care. She shows up at this show and says fuck it and puts on her own dress, and the white people laugh at her. And then this nigga Sean decides to give 500 lira for her dress and stuff like that, when niggas is out here giving 20 million lira for these ugly ass dresses and shit on these beige ass white people that look bland. She was the best bitch out there. I don't care what you're talking about. And they were just laughing at her and shit, and he was a part of it, because he wanted to make her feel bad and look bad. And so this other rich nigga that was in there felt bad for her and voted 20 million lira on her shit. And so she made another connection. And I was just like, when one rung of the ladder rots away, God sends another rung. And no, this isn't a situation where she should have been in, where she should have like bad things were still happening in this situation. So I'm not saying that, oh, all of this is like God sent another rung and so she had to endure and shit like that. I'm saying this is how the industry is. This is how it was even worse back then, with no technology or anything like that to even attempt to build your own platform. So within the confines of this industry and her fulfilling her dream, another rung of the ladder was created for her to continue to attempt to fulfill her dream, even though it was through another nigga that was an asshole. Because it was the niggas that were running all of the fashion industry. It was the niggas, and it was one woman that was running it. And I feel like she should have leaned into that woman that was running it, and leaned into her and made deeper friendships with her. But see, that male trauma that makes you think you need niggas to promote your shit and stuff like that, she should have leaned into that woman more, because that woman was more understanding. Because when she went to that woman's fashion agency or modeling agency and didn't know that she was the owner of the agency, and them niggas was in there talking about how her titties were small and how her legs were little and she was skinny and too skinny and all this other shit, and she cussed them motherfucking white men out, and that woman stood up for her and said, no, this is my company, and so when can you start? And so I feel like if she had leaned into that motherfucker more, it would have been better. But instead she leaned into these white men, and her dream was still going to be fulfilled. It was just going to be fulfilled in a fucked up way, because we're still choosing. Because see, there's faith without works is death. The works is you didn't lean into this white woman that was not trying to take advantage of you. You lean into these white men. You lean into the men instead of this woman. The faith was that you still got to climb the ladder. You still get to climb the ladder, even though you're leaning into these white men. We're still going to try for you. We're still going to attempt to give you your dream, even though you should lean into that woman more instead of these men. So like this white man pays for her shit, and he becomes like her little fan and shit, right? And then what happens is that Billy D comes to visit Rome, and he tells her that he didn't make aldermen and shit like that. And so she takes him out. She wines and dines him, buys him a suit. She just spending money on this nigga, taking care of this nigga like he's a fucking child. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. She makes more money than even when they were on the same playing field. She spent $100 to bail him out of jail. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. But he came to Rome. He didn't have to, girl. He came to Rome to ask her to come back with him because he needed her in order for him to be successful. He said that verbatim, bitch, in the movie. I need you in order to be success. I need you to be more. I need you for my success and all this other shit. And I was just like, this nigga is objectifying her even still. So before he comes there at the little runway show where Sean made fun of her and shit, she talks to the dude afterwards, the dude that actually spent the money and bought her dress and spent the 20 million lira and all this other shit, right? And while she's talking to him, Sean's just over there watching, getting more and more jealous. Like, this is my object. This is my toy. You don't get to play with my toy. I could just see it in his eyes. It was disgusting. It was so gross. I hated it. And so he comes in and tries and interrupts their conversation, talking about, oh, well, can I talk to you? And she's like, no, Sean. No, I just want to talk to you for 5 minutes. She's like, no, Sean. And then the digger with the money, with the actual money, walks away. He says, I'll see you later. And like, Sean's over here talking about, I'm sorry, and da 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 da. I didn't mean to. Girl, what do you mean? You actively tried to embarrass her in front of people. Like, you actively sat there and actively attempted to embarrass her in front of people. And I just couldn't. This movie made me mad. The fact they tried to cover it up like it's a romance and shit, like, oh, Billy D and Diana Ross got together at the end. Fuck that nigga. Fuck them niggas. Oh God, this shit had me pacing back and forth, talking to myself. I was like, these niggas, they just want to siphon us. They're like vampires. They don't give a shit. They don't want to work on themselves. And just like, I imagine, like, at first I was just like, I couldn't imagine a relationship where a nigga just pours into you and you pour into him and y'all pour into each other without these toxic insecurities getting in the way. I couldn't imagine. Then I realized, yes, I can. Gomez and Morticia. That nigga loves to see her shine. He just is amazed at her shining, and she loves to see him shine. She loves even the original Addams Family movies. She loved to see her man shine, and he loved to see her shine. The new Wednesday show, like, this nigga, I'm almost done with the show. This bitch was all like, me and Wednesday are gonna go off into the woods and duel and shit. And he just looks at them, with his little shower cap on and his little towel, and he's like, oh, y'all have fun. Oh, that's so marvelous. Y'all have fun. And then he goes and he takes a shower. Like, he's just like letting her be her and trusting that she will still be there. That's the insecure. You don't trust that this bitch will be here because she finds other things the other things make her happy besides you. And so to you, it feels like cheating. Because she has hobbies and other things that make her feel good and other people in her life that make her feel good. No, she just has the capacity to love multiple things in different ways. And that doesn't mean that you're not close to the top. You know, you might even be number one or number two if she got a higher power or she got kids or some shit. Because kids are actually number two always, because my love for myself is always going to trump you love, because I'm not going to end up trapped in a situation where I'm being abused, where I'm being mistreated. I love myself too much. So you most likely will be number two or number three behind either her kids, or like, you know, she got a higher power and shit. Higher power might be number one. She might be number two, and then you might be number three, or the kids might be number three and you number four, nigga. Like, because these are innocent creatures in the world that don't know anything and need help, and that's why you put them first. You both as a couple need to put your children first. So I don't know what the problem, and without thinking that, or starting to think that you're not loved just because she has the capacity to love multiple things and multiple people in various different ways, does not mean that you're not important. Does not mean that she won't prioritize you. Like, it's an insecurity, it's an abandonment issue. I don't know, maybe you didn't have your daddy in your life, whatever the fuck it is. You need to fix it, because you're missing out on good women just because you're mad that they have hobbies. You're mad that they love themselves. You're mad that they're a Queen Latifah in what's that movie that I just said the name, Last Holiday. You're mad that they're that bitch. You're mad that they're a Diana Ross in the beginning of Mahogany, just fun and fancy free like a butterfly, and you want to trap them and lock them down and keep them away from the happiness that they have inside of them. And you only want it for yourself. They can only give it to you. They can't give it to anybody else. And they definitely can't give it to themselves. They can't find joy in themselves. Like, you know, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. And then that's why you have women in your life that are sad and miserable, and you're standing there like, I don't know why. Like, I was watching these TikToks. It's this little Latin girl, and she makes these TikToks just about going on dates with niggas and them killing your joy on the date just because you're being yourself. There's these there are these little skits, right? And so she'll like go to one of the skits, she's at the movies with this dude, right? And she's like all excited and chipper, and then she starts twirling and shit and having a good time, and then the dude says, why are you twirling? Why are you acting so childish? And immediately she shuts down. Immediately she's just like bland and whatever the whole time, and then he tries to pick it back up throughout the date, and he's like, oh well, look at aren't you the movie, wasn't the movie good? Or look, they got popcorn, you like pop? And she's just giving him bland, monotone, dead eyes the whole time. And then by the end of the day, like, he wants to do more, and she's like, no, can I go home? Are you ready to go home? No, that's a me, bitch. I will immediately lock you out if you make me feel like my extraness is bad, my goofiness, my fun lovingness is bad. You are locked out immediately. Cause no, it took a long time for me to cultivate an ability to love that part of myself and not shame myself for it. Anybody that comes to my life that makes me go backwards into that place, you need to leave. You need to leave. I did work to make myself love myself. I did a lot of hard motherfucking work that these niggas out here refuse to do in order to learn how to love my motherfucking self, bitch. You're not gonna come into my shit and try to dumb. These niggas out here be having beautiful, loving, gracious wives, girlfriends, and be mad because they have hobbies. They have talents. They have things they like to do outside of the relationship, outside of them. Like, they're bad people for having, and then they try to, dim their light, dim their glow, siphon out their goodness because it makes them insecure because they don't have hobbies. They don't have things outside of them, or the things outside that they do have, they feel like it's not as interesting as what you're doing. The things that I'm doing doesn't make me as happy as it seems to make you happy to do what you're doing. So I want you to be down on the same level I am with my emotions, and I'm unhappy, so you need to be unhappy too. And a lot of this shit is subconscious. So if you clock a nigga for this and you say something and you speak up, a lot of them are going to deny it. That's the fucked up part. A lot of them are so out of touch with their emotions, and they're not recognizing how they're dimming the light of the women around them, and they don't give a fuck. And so what happens over time is you try to tell them, like, it makes me upset when you do that. Like, it makes me feel like I can't be myself around you. And they'll just gaslight you and be like, what are you talking about? You can't be yourself. I just think that you shouldn't be so childish. What are you what So you're speaking a different language, love. I don't know what you're saying. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak anything that you're speaking. What are you talking about? And I can't. I need Lord, send me a man that loves himself so much. He is so overjoyed to share that love he gives to himself to me, because I can't, because I love myself so much, and I'm so overjoyed. Like, I bought a pop-up tent, took it to the beach, and I was like, you can fit 2 people in here. Like, I wish I had a nigga that wanted to sit in the pop-up tent with me at the beach. That would be so fun. I bet a nigga would like this too. Like, that's how I think. That's how I'm so excited to share my joy with somebody that appreciates it, but nobody appreciates it, so I don't share it. They make you feel like there's something wrong, when in reality, they're making you feel like something's wrong with you because they are insecure by your happiness. Your happiness makes them realize that there's something missing in them, and instead of exploring that and working on that, they get mad at you for making them feel upset. They get mad at you for making them feel upset. I learned a long time ago, whenever I'm envious or jealous of somebody, I need to really sit with it and ask myself what's wrong. And a lot of times it's because I want to do what they're doing. And so I actively try to work myself up to a place where I can do what they're doing. Like I can travel like they travel, and I can, go to expensive places, or I can, have a good time like they're having. And you know what I realize damn near every single time is that the shit that they're doing is exhausting. Like I don't want to travel 5 times a year. Like I get overstimulated by the airport, by the plane, by not being able to put my feet up. I get overstimulated by not being at home most of the time throughout the year. Like I just need to be at my house with my cat most of the time throughout the year, and travel maybe once or twice. Like I'm fine with just traveling once or twice, but 5 times you want to be gone most of the time. Like I can't do that. That's exhausting, and I can't. Like, so shit like that. Like I'm not excited anymore about what other people are doing like that. Like I've processed through so many moments of envy that now I don't tend to really get that envious. Even of other people in relationships, I'm happy that people find happy relationships. But at the same time, I try not to read too much into it, because there's been too many times where I was envious of somebody's apparent happy relationship. And what happened was something happened eventually to let me know that that wasn't a happy relationship. And that bitch is putting up with shit that I would never in a million years put up with. I'm not putting up with the shit that nigga says to you. Like, the way that nigga treats you, the way that nigga dims your light and shit, and like how you're not doing the things you used to like to do before. Like y'all seen the TikTok videos of how I was before the relationship, how I was during the relationship, and how I am after the relationship. You seen them women on that TikTok, those TikTok videos, and they look like gorgeous models before the relationship, and then during the relationship it's like suddenly they, like, as if they became drug addicts or became homeless or some shit. Like some really bad shit happened to them. They look drained, dark circle eyes, they gained a lot of weight that they didn't want to gain, and they just look haggard and sad and miserable. And that's what them niggas did to them, and I refuse. I'm going to be my full out loud self. And if you don't like it, then get the fuck away from me. Like every time niggas would make her feel bad in this movie, I would just keep thinking, well, you don't like my light, get the fuck away from it then, nigga. Like I don't care. Like come up to me and be like, you're too loud, then get the fuck away from me. Oh, you're too flamboyant, then get the fuck away from me. Like I think it's the fear of being lonely. Motherfuckers are afraid to be alone. And I had to realize, you know what, God's always on my shoulder. He's always here with me. I have my cat. I have my little fun activities and my hobbies. And yes, I would like to have a husband. I would really like to have some dick. I would really like to have some dick hit my cervix a few times. But that's just the pain that you live with, like period cramps and shit. That comes once a month, and you feel all fucked up, and then the rest of the month is like whatever. It is what. Maybe that's why women are a little bit more able to endure pain than men are, because we have to experience it once a month since childhood. So you start to learn how to endure consistent pain on a regular basis. And we're not even going to mention the societal pain that we have to endure and shit like that. As women, especially black women, especially dark-skinned black women. But no, like, so anyways, Billy D comes, and then she invites him to this celebration that they're having for her. And like that white man is there, Seth, and Seth is just watching them hating, like, how dare this nigga? It's like she's a car and this nigga standing next to his car and shit. Like, and then so what he does is he goes up to them and he invites Billy D into his sanctuary room where he finds comfort. And like they spar off a little bit before he invites him. Like they have a little word battle, like just some nigga shit, just some nigga challenge shit and masculinity, like stupid shit. Like we shouldn't have to even. If you loved yourself enough, you and this nigga would just be funny to you. Like you wouldn't even engage with this motherfucker if you loved yourself enough. You don't love yourself enough. That's not my problem. That's a personal problem. That a lot of niggas have. So that's none of my business. Her face automatically looks upset when this white man walks up to her. Why aren't you clocking that her face looks upset, love? Like she obviously doesn't like this nigga. She doesn't want you to go with this nigga. he invites him down to the gun room that he has, and I just like, why are you going with him? You obviously don't like each other. Like, this nigga asked you to go with him and you felt like you had to. Like, insecurities, don't like yourself, just sad and emotional. And so he goes down into the gun room, and then this nigga like closes the door on him and pulls a gun out and starts waving it in his face and all this motherfucking crazy people shit. And then they start wrestling, and you know, it's very homoerotic and stuff. I know this down low nigga loved it because he was on the floor laughing afterwards. No, because this nigga hates himself, and I cannot stand a motherfucker that hates themselves for any reason, whether it's internalized homophobia or it's, you know, I hate being white and I'm jealous of black people. Whatever the reason is, you're putting it on other people. Keep your self-hatred to yourself, love, and figure it out. But they can't do that. People that hate themselves can't keep their self-hatred to themselves unless, you know, it's the other end of the spectrum. So I won't say people, I'll say abusive, toxic, manipulative people can't keep their self-hatred to themselves. You know, the other end of the spectrum, the more regular folks that just get depressed and anxious and overwhelmed, they keep it to themselves and they hurt themselves, and they're more likely to go to therapy and shit because they don't build up bodies behind them of other people that they've hurt. So they just have to forgive themselves and love themselves. They don't have to necessarily take accountability for like all the motherfucking bitches that you hurt. On top of forgiving yourself and loving yourself. So it's easier for them motherfuckers than passive, people pleasing, depressive type motherfuckers to heal and love themselves and shit than it is for these abusive niggas that hate themselves to learn how to love themselves. And so they wrestling on the floor and all this other extra shit. And then he gets the gun away from him and tries and pulls the trigger. Of course, there's no bullet in it because this white man's a coward. I won't call it, like, this nigga was, you picking a fight and you pulling out a gun, nigga, you better be ready to do some shit, is all I'm saying. There's no bullet in the gun. I'm glad there wasn't a bullet in the gun and nobody died. Okay, you know, Billy D storms out and Tracy runs after him and she's just like, where are you going? Where are you going? And he was like, I can't live this. I can't live this. And I'm just like, literally, nigga, it was just a party with a bunch of gay folks. You decided to go downstairs with this motherfucker. That was the only thing that was bad about that was, maybe were you overwhelmed about being around the LGBTQ community? Like, was that the overwhelming part? Because literally all she was doing was walking around talking to people and giving like this one nigga her hairdresser's number so they could get their hair cut and shit. She wasn't doing it. This is lightweight. Like, you know, Hollywood parties, they be on the floor fucking and shit. This is some lightweight shit. Like, what are you talking about? You decided to go down the stairs. You saw her face. Obviously her face said don't go down the stairs with this motherfucker. You decided to do that, but of course you're gonna blame her. So she just, you know, she's just overwhelmed by being trapped and imprisoned by these niggas that she just allows herself to party the night away and get drunk and do all the things that she needs to do to just decompress. And then she goes back home and this nigga sitting on the couch. He's sitting on the couch like this. Dramatic. No one told you to go down the stairs with that motherfucker. That's your fault, sir. She obviously doesn't even like that nigga. And then he's like, I'm going home because you've just created a caricature. These people don't even like you. And I'm just like, when he said you created a character that these motherfuckers can take advantage of and shit like that, I was just like, what character did she create? Because she's been the same throughout the whole movie. She just got a little bit more money to be a little bit more flamboyant and weird and eccentric. She's always been eccentric, love. She always knew how to dress down. Even when she was in the hood, she was dressed down. That's why you fell in love with her. That's why you liked her, because she was eccentric, nigga. So how did she change when she got to Rome? She still stayed eccentric, and she just tried to be herself. She wasn't high and mighty. She wasn't trying to make him feel a type of way. She was just trying to do nice shit for him and take him out and buy him food. She wasn't trying to down him or make him feel bad about himself or brag about anything. I think one point she tried to act like she could speak Italian while they were at a restaurant, and obviously she couldn't speak Italian, and they had a good little laugh about it. Like, where in this movie was she acting like a caricature of her original self in the beginning of the movie? Because I just feel like she wasn't. She never did. She just had more of an expansive playground to be eccentric. See, the thing is, you fall in love with these eccentric, neurodivergent bitches, and the thing that you fall in love with is their eccentricity and their excitement and their joyfulness and their colorfulness. But what made them that way was their hobbies, love, and their special interests and their friends and their family and the things. That's what made them that way. The things that they poured into that makes them feel good are the things that pour back into them that make them feel good, that keeps them that way. They come into your life loving the results of what you created from loving yourself, but then they want to take away the things that made you feel good, that made you what they fell in love with. You want to take away the hobbies and the people in my life and the self-esteem that I gained that made you fall in love with me. So with nothing fueling the things that made you fall in love with me, I start to deteriorate, and now you're mad. Now you're mad that I'm not like how I used to be. Well, because you made me stop taking pictures, nigga. Like, I was in a fucked up situation. I stopped doing photography for 7 years just because I didn't have the energy to be happy. I do photography when I'm happy and joyful and shit, and I wasn't in a happy and joyful environment, so I didn't want to do that shit. I didn't do that shit for 7 fucking years. I've been doing that shit since I was 15. I've been doing that shit since I was 15. I took like photography classes in undergrad and shit, like to learn how to do Photoshop better and shit like that. Like, I've been doing this shit and then for someone to come along and make me feel so sad and miserable inside that I just stopped doing the thing that made me feel good about myself. Never again. Never again. You're not going to come into my life and fall in love with my eccentric personality and then take away the things that made me eccentric and then get mad at me for not being eccentric anymore. Like, we're not. So this nigga telling her that she's a caricature of this white man's creation, when in reality she's been the same bitch the whole time. He just gave her a little moniker and shit. She ain't like this nigga for weeks at this point. Like, she been off this white man for weeks at this point. And you didn't clock that she was looking like, don't go down the stairs with this motherfucker. That's your fault, my nigga. Like, you did that. I didn't do that. Like, no one told you to go. You should have said no. You should have, because if you had said no, then what would he have done? Either he would have went off with his tail between his legs, looking like a fucking jackass, or he would have made a scene in the middle of the party and look crazy. Either way, he ends up looking stupid. So I don't see what the problem is. You're not strong enough to stand up for yourself. That's not masculinity. Like, you sitting up there thinking you being masculine by accepting the challenge of this white man, when in reality you're being a fucking punk. No, you're being a bitch. You're being a bitch by accepting the challenge of this white man. You're being soft, and you're not standing up for yourself. Like, I don't understand. Girl. Like, I just feel so upset. Like, this white man can't even be his fucking self. There was gay men in that party that was stronger just for being themselves than that white man was. They were stronger and happier and flamboyant and free and magical. And both of y'all niggas felt uncomfortable by it. Both of y'all niggas felt uncomfortable by all the freedom and happiness in the room. It was just so uncomfortable. I can't take this. I can't do this. Nigga, what is you talking about? They were just eating cake and dancing. What is you talking about? So, anyways, like Billy D leaves, and we go to the scene where like she's still this is her this white Seth Sean, whatever his name is still her main photographer. So they're on set on this freeway in this car, and she needs to drive the car towards him so he can take the picture. And like he keeps getting mad and getting upset, and she just looks at him and she's like, I just want to hurry up and get through this. Can we just not talk and just get through this? And of course he gets upset, tells her to get over, and then he gets in the driver's seat and he's mad because she doesn't want to, she's off of him, and he's like, you don't want to be around me anymore, you want me to go away. And yes, we do, we really do, because you're not taking care of yourself in a healthy way, and it's spilling out onto me and my happiness, and there's no helping you. There's no amount of talking to you and communicating how you are making me feel that will make you stop acting like this. So obviously you need to be away from me. And so he drives off and then like crashes the car and dies. And I was just like, you know what? Some people just can't handle being on this earth anymore. And I just, because he could have killed her. He could have killed her. She doesn't die though. She ends up like in this estate. It wasn't even a mansion. It was an estate with the white benefactor that bought her dress at the whatchamacallit, and now he's her sugar daddy. And he funds her first fashion show, design show. And like at this point, she's just crashing the hell out. She's tired. She's traumatized. This happy-go-lucky bitch from the beginning of the movie is damn near gone. She's yelling at the seamstresses that are making her clothes. She's crashing out on everybody, right? And this white old man is trying to tell her to calm down and shit like that. Like, she going through it and shit. And so she has her fashion show, and like the cursed nigga that he is, Billy D. Williams' last words are trailing off in her mind as she's doing the fashion show. Oh, you're gonna be nothing to these people. You're nothing to these people. And I'm just like, why you let this nigga be in your head? Like, but you know what? She ain't got no support. This is during a time where obviously like we weren't going to therapy. Therapy wasn't white man's game. Even if she had went to therapy, it would have been a white person and they would have mistreated her. And so she's doing the best she can with what she got. And so like she can't even enjoy her own little fashion show. And she made it, and the white man is also, the old benefactor nigga is also using her too. He basically made a deal with her that she was to fuck him if he paid for her fashion show. And I just, disgusting. I'm just everybody around her is using her for something, and she can't even just enjoy her own magic. All of her magic is being siphoned away from her, and she can't enjoy it at all. So she has her fashion show, and she just wants to go home after. Like the girl from the modeling agency is wanting her to stay because she wants her to, you know, talk to the buyers and stuff like that she's going to make hella money, and she just can't anymore. She's done. She wants to go back to Chicago. She's done with these white people. She's done with people using her. And I was just like, if she didn't have to fuck that white dude, I would have just been like, girl, please lean into this white woman a little bit more. Just lean into her a little bit more. Just lean into the white woman. She seems like she can help you, and she seems like she's not taking as much advantage of you as these men are. Like the white woman doesn't seem like she wants anything from her except for her percentage for doing a job. She doesn't seem like she wants her vagina. She doesn't seem like she just wants her percentage for being her agent. And she would have been a millionaire. She would have been so rich, and if she just had the right support to help her through this. And she gets back to this man's estate, and this nigga is mad because she hasn't fucked him yet. And so basically she gets ready to fuck him, but she freezes up and she looks like she's dissociating, and he does the right thing. He sees that she is frozen in place with her clothes halfway off, and she looks like she's about to cry, and he says, you know what? you don't even look like you wanna. You don't even look like you wanna do this. Like you don't even look like. And she was just like, I just want to go home. I just want to go back to Chicago. And this nigga was like, okay, well I'll get you a plane ticket and you go back home tomorrow. And like that was the most decentness thing that any nigga on this motherfucking movie did for her. Was not fuck her and let her go back home. The only decentest thing that any of these niggas did in this movie. So she goes back home and she sees Billy D. Williams standing on his platform doing his speech. I don't know. I guess he's gonna be in Congress. I don't fucking know. He's still trying to be a politician. Fuck that nigga. And she feels like she's home and she's gonna find happiness here. And basically she dimmed her light down to 25% and is gonna pour all of her artistry into him and his goals and fuck what she wanted. Oh no, so sometimes I want to be like, oh well, in another dimension I just want to imagine that they figured it out. No, fuck that shit. The patterns are patterning, the pattern recognition is patterning, and the way he acted when he came to Rome, like he was acting the same way, tells me that this bitch never became anything. And I hope this nigga didn't become anything either. I hope that nigga was cursed for the light that he took out of this woman. Because what is you talking about? If this nigga had just supported her and like just allowed her to do what she needed to do for herself while he continued to do what he was doing, she probably would have stayed in Chicago. She probably would have just kept going to classes and building up her fashion industry in America and figuring it out that way, just to stay near him and still be able to help him with his shit while she figured her own shit out. He could not stand her fucking light. Oh my gosh, I hated it. No, you can't have ops in your life. You cannot have these fucking ops in your life. That's why, because that's why you just, at the end, she just gave up. She just gave up and said, well, I guess this is the best option for me, is being with this nigga. Like if you have grandmothers that like you looked in a photo album one day and saw pictures of them doing amazing things when they were young, and then you look at them now and be like, what happened? This is what happened. This is what happened. They met some man that sucked the life out of them, and they just told themselves that it was okay and dissociated through the whole relationship. That's why when you had them grandmothers, when their husbands died, now granny is a brand new bitch and she on these senior cruises and doing all this shit that she didn't do when she was married. That's why, because she had a nigga that was sucking the life out of her, that didn't want to go on adventures like Indiana Jones with her. You know the excitement I would have to have a nigga that just wanted to go on adventures with me like Indiana Jones and go into caves and just look at random shit and go around Japan and just look and eat and just do amazing shit. Like, I'm excited to have someone join me doing that, and I would love for them to be excited to have me doing that with them. I want the excitement to cycle around in this infinity type shape, and it's just this infinity of excitement and joy in our relationship, and the niggas can't. Why am I heterosexual? Like, Jesus, why did you make me this way? Like, why are you torturing me with this heterosexuality? Why are you torturing me? Why can't I just like the vaginas? Why can't it? Because bitches be doing that. I always say, because there's toxic bitches out there too. But the thing is that I just feel like from what I've seen in my own statistics, you might go through maybe like 20, 30 toxic women before you pop up with the right bitch. With men, you go through 20,000, 30,000 abusive nigga before maybe you end up with a half partial decent one because you got tired. And then you start dissociating like your grandma through the whole marriage. Oh, this shit is exhausting. It is. I'm tired. I just felt exhausted. I feel overstimulated. The anger and the disgust and the sadness of it. Just, I couldn't imagine not being who I am today. I could imagine being more than I am today. But I can't imagine being less. And I can't imagine accepting somebody into my life who would enjoy me being less. Like, why wouldn't you love all this greatness? I'm fucking amazing, bitch. Like, I'm magical and I'm amazing and I know it, and you're mad that I know it. Especially me being a dark-skinned black woman with kinky hair. You're mad that I know that I'm fucking amazing. You hate it because you don't think you're amazing. And that's fucking sad. You should think you're amazing too. Like, we all should think we're amazing, because if we all thought we were amazing, then we wouldn't end up in fucking situations like this. This is in 1975. So in this dimension, Tracy in 2025 is miserable. She's done had a miserable marriage. She could have been jet setting around the world with her husband that pours into her and she pours into him, and he's in because what could have happened was she could have got that money from that fashion shit, and she could have used that money to invest in his thing, and she wouldn't have had to have sex with these weird ass niggas, because he would have went with her, because the money was coming in faster on her side than it was on his side, and she would have been a millionaire, and she wouldn't have had to fuck these random niggas, because he would have been there protecting her. And when the money started pouring the fuck in, invested back into his campaign and his situation, and still have money to build your own shit at the same time and shit. I don't understand. Like, or he could have been building his shit while she building her shit, and then they get back together and have their shit together. Like, they both have enough money to travel and see each other and shit. Like, it would have been long distance for a little bit, or she could have amassed enough money where she could have bought her career to America, and it would have been fine. It would have been so fine. And I just no, because you could say like, oh, well, maybe she'll start her fashion industry in America. And the way this nigga has been downing her fashion shit from jump, that nigga didn't let her do shit. That nigga didn't let her do nothing. That nigga Billy D didn't let her do motherfucking shit, nigga. Pattern recognition. That nigga didn't change nothing. He didn't go to therapy. He didn't work on his insecurities and shit. That nigga didn't let her be free after that. When she came back, she had to be his little trophy bitch. And I refuse to be a nigga's trophy bitch. Like, we're in this together, nigga. I'm not gonna be a little trophy bitch standing on your arm that don't do nothing but look pretty and shit. What the fuck? I have a personality. I like doing shit. Like, and there's so much depth in falling in love with all of a person instead of just pieces. You fall in love with the bitch because she pretty, and then get mad because she has hobbies and she has other things about her outside of being pretty, because all you wanted to focus on was her being pretty. But that's humans, love. Humans have layers, and they're a menagerie of things. They're not just one thing. And so if you're going to be in a relation with human beings, you need to be in relation with the whole human being, not just the piece that you want, because that's how you end up in a fucked up situation and mad that this bitch is no longer pretty to your standards anymore, because she fell off of working on herself because she got tired of dealing with your bullshit. And so I can't pour into you and pour into myself at the same time when no one's pouring into me. I have to pick a cup to pour into at this point. Like, why can't I be a lesbian? I give off lesbian. Like, bitches like me, they be flirting with me and shit and everything, and I just be like, you got titties and a vagina and your lips are too soft. Like, no, because I tried. I had my experimentation. That's how I know that I can't. Like, I just, like, ew. And when I think about it, it's just ew. Like, you can't, this isn't a choice. No heterosexual woman would choose this. I promise you. We would not choose to be with these niggas when they're in mass, not self-aware. They are in mass, not self-aware. And so you don't even, like, the way I pour into myself is intimidating, because I don't care what you have to say. And if you don't enjoy it like Gomez enjoys Morticia and how she pours into herself, then you can't be around me. Because that requires you to love yourself in the similar way. And most niggas don't love themselves like I love myself. They don't. and the way I had to work to get here, the ladder I had to climb, and that I'm still climbing to stay here and climb even further. Who knows who I'm going to be at 50, 60, 70. Lord, let me live a long life in the name of Jesus. Who knows what I'll be evolved into the more I keep loving myself. You just keep growing and evolving and changing. Trauma makes you stagnant. Trauma makes you stay 5 years old forever in your mind. Emotionally, you're 5. You're that 5-year-old kid that got yelled at by their dad all the time. You're that 5-year-old kid that got hit in the face or molested or whatever happened to you, that got abandoned by their parents. You're still that person inside. And so you just stay the same. And that's why they can't understand a person that just genuinely loves themselves, because they have never felt that way. So they can't comprehend what that shit looks like. So it has to come from a fucked up place. Your happiness has to be fake, because when I'm happy, I'm pretending. So when you're happy, you must be pretending too. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to test you. I'm going to criticize you. I'm going to break you the fuck down. And then, aha, I proved it. I proved that you're just as broken as me. And then I'm going to find the next bitch to break down, because it's fun. It's fun. For them, it's a coping skill. For the manipulative, toxic folks, it's a coping skill. It's like popping the little packaging bubbles and shit. It's satisfying to break a bitch down for them. And that's why I stay the fuck away from them. I don't argue with toxic people, because the point of you arguing with me is not so that you can learn some shit or share information back and forth. The point of you arguing with me is to get attention, to get a reaction, and I don't have time for that. I don't have time to give you attention. Or you might have a humiliation kink, and you want to be read for filth in front of people. You're gonna go home and fantasize about that shit and jack off, and I am not gonna give you that. I am not gonna feed into your humiliation kink, love. Like, I'm not. And so and some of these niggas are aware of it consciously. Some of these niggas, it's more of a subconscious thing, but they are aware of the pain they cause because they can see it. They just tell themselves in their head that it's so. They just don't care about the pain that they cause. They don't think any deeper to why they cause it. So that's the subconscious part. They just don't care that they hurt you. So what? I hurt all the time. What does it matter? And then some of them are aware of why they do it, and they also don't care that they're doing it. And they love it. But both of these people love it. Conscious, subconscious, they both love it. And so that's why you got to protect your spirit, protect your soul, protect. And that doesn't mean like excommunicating everybody out your life, because people make mistakes. If I communicate the mistake that you made and how it made me feel, and I tell you that it made me feel hurt and broken and confused and disappointed, and you show me that you don't care that it hurt me, bye bitch. Bye bitch. Like, I don't got time, because I care if I even assume that I hurt somebody. I'll be like, oh wait, like, people will tell me, like, I have multiple clients that, like, they're always like apologizing and shit, like for stuff that doesn't really matter, that don't need an apology. And in my mind, I'm just like, you don't have to apologize. And I'll tell them that, like, you don't need to say sorry for that. And then one day I had like this epiphany, and I was just like, me telling them that they don't have to apologize for that does not take away the feeling of anxiety inside of them that makes them do that. So even though I don't actively understand that feeling, because I don't have that feeling, that wasn't my anxiety. My anxiety was like being super quiet and isolating. My anxiety, because I've always been an Aries. I'm not apologizing for shit. Unless I actually actively know that I hurt your feelings or did something fucked up, I'm not apologizing for shit. So anyway. So I had to be like, wait a minute, like, I can't sit here and make them feel bad for or tell them to stop saying sorry, when this is their journey that they have to go on to get to that place where they have to work on the anxiety that's making them say sorry over and over again like that. And so I'm gonna stop telling these folks that, like, because they still feel anxious. Like, that's a real feeling inside of them. And even though I don't understand it, like, I still need to validate the fact that they feel anxious and not add to the anxiety by, like, because then it turns into, like, even if it's not the intent for me to shame, it turns into like a feeling of shame for them, and that's not right. I don't want to make people to feel shame, so I stopped doing that. Even though I don't understand it, I stopped doing it. Like, I mean, I understand it. Like, it's anxiety. Like, you feel like, especially if, like, you've been made to feel like the scapegoat your whole life, and people made you feel bad. Now you got developed this habit of apologizing for things that don't need apologies for. But, like, I don't necessarily understand the feeling behind it, because I don't feel that way. But I can understand that you feel that way and it hurts you, and I don't want to add to your hurt, so I'm going to stop doing that. See, shit like that. It's being self-aware enough to recognize that even if you don't understand why this hurts a person, you understand that it hurts them, and then not doing that thing because you don't want to hurt them. Not because, oh, I suddenly understand it. No, because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And that's all it is. So, empathy. And these niggas out here don't have it. And I just, Jesus is gonna, no, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that has to just happen by itself. Because things that are out of your control tend to be living things. And so that's where miracles happen, in the spaces that are out of your control. When random shit just start popping up because of it's magic and Jesus and stuff. And so, like, I can't control how these motherfuckers feel about me. I can't make anybody love me. So Jesus is going to bring me the person that has already been predisposed from birth, before birth, to love me. And that's all that, that's it is what it is. There you go. It's a miracle. So I'm not going to actively do anything but make sure I'm outside and I'm talking to people so that the person that's for me will see me, because I can't do it from in the house. Like, I could be on the apps and shit, but, like, that shit gets boring after a while. Like, I like to be outside so they can see me and they'll come up to me, because I'm not approaching a nigga. I'm not shooting my shot for what? For what? Oh, but sometimes it works out. No, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You can come up to me and show me how brave you are, because most of these niggas aren't brave, and that turns me on. That is the beginning of me being turned on by you. And you have to take the risk of whether I'm going to like you or not. And the fact that you took that risk, that's nice. Look at you taking risks and shit. And you're fine and gorgeous and you got a good job. And let's see if you got the rest of the package. Let's see what else is in this box. If you take that risk and you are not aesthetically pleasing to me, I will gently as possible, let you down. If you're triggered by rejection, however, love, I don't know what to tell you. Like, even the gentlest of rejections, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. When you invite people into your life, you run the risk of losing them. That is the risk you run with inviting people into your life. You run a risk with anything new or different that you try. You get your nails done, you run the risk of, like, getting an infection and having to cut your finger off, but bitches still go and get their nails done. You get on a plane, run the risk of it crashing, but bitches still get on planes. You get in a relationship with somebody, you run the risk of losing them, and it's a humongous risk, because either they will leave you or they will die. And death is for everybody, so you're going to lose them anyways. So you might as well just enjoy the period that you have with them. And basically, when you end up with somebody, you're basically just saying, I'm willing to risk losing you just to enjoy the goodness that you're showing me. And if it doesn't work out, I'm still going to have memories of those experiences that I can learn from and grow from as well. So I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to be patient and wait for reciprocity. And I can see why bitches don't want to be with niggas, because shit like this, like Mahogany, like I could see why they wouldn't want to date these motherfuckers. Like these niggas, this movie perfectly illustrates how a woman is broken down piece by piece from this magical butterfly bitch to nothing by niggas. To nothing. No, I don't care. You can make it seem like she was in love and it was happy at the end because she got with Billy D. Williams. Fuck that motherfucker. Now she's a trophy wife when she could have been a mega super designer. She could have been the black Gucci and shit, nigga. Like, I don't. And like, she could have had a nigga that loved her for being the black Gucci, and they could have loved each other and it could have been great. Stop expecting people to leave you just because they have greatness in them. Love them for their greatness. Know that they will love you too. The only, like, everything would have went fine if he hadn't fucked up at that first photo shoot. If Billy D. Williams hadn't put her down for her artistry at that first photo shoot and had encouraged her and been like, hey baby, I got you. See, like, I don't really like how they using these black folks in the neighborhood and they not paying them, but I know that you really into this, and I know this is a part of your, like, you know, your passion and stuff. So I'm going to support you in this, and we'll figure out the rest as we go along. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how maybe there's some way that we can still help the people through both of the things that we do. So, like, yeah, girl, like, you go out there and you model and you have a good time, because she was so happy and free in that moment until he started breaking her down. And I hated it. I was just, it's so like, no, I just, you're not about to break me down, nigga. You're not about to break my soul. I refuse to. Girl, this is a horror movie. Mahogany is a horror movie for black women. For women in general, but mainly for black women, especially dark-skinned black women, because this is a dark-skinned Diana Ross. And that's what I mean. Like, shit like this, when you get broken down like this and you give up, that's what makes it so much more easier for you to assimilate into bullshit and fuckery and white supremacy and patriarchy type shit. That's what makes bitches like deform themselves with plastic surgery when maybe they didn't need it, or maybe you got to a certain point, you look natural, it looks really good. The next thing you know, the lips are the size of hot dogs and now you're deformed. Like, why would you go further than that and you look deformed? Like, there's nothing wrong with plastic surgery, like a little nip tuck here and there, a little maintenance and stuff. But when you take it to a place where you're deformed, now we got to question, is it body dysmorphia? Do you hate yourself? We changing our skin colors. We're doing all this other shit to conform. And the thing is, we're conforming because we just want to be left the fuck alone. That bitch wanted that white man to just leave her alone. She just was sitting in that car and he was yelling at her and she was just like, can we just get through this and not talk to each other so that I can go home and take a nap, because I'm exhausted. I just don't want to. And like, you just wanted to stop. You just want these people and their words and their things to stop. And so you start conforming and noticing that people treat you differently and it's better than how you were being treated before. But that's why I just had to get to the point where I had to be like, well, fuck people. I don't need you to like me. I don't. And if you don't like me, stay the fuck away from me. Like, that's more freer and clearer for me than me conforming and changing my skin color and hurting myself. And I truly believe that me relaxing my hair, you know, in my 20s to my early 30s is what made me get fibroids. Like, the shit that you're doing is hurting your body, and you're doing it. A lot of folks are doing it. A lot of women are doing it to conform to the societal norms of white supremacy and patriarchy so that they can be left the fuck alone. Because look, it was like playing, but that's why I got overstimulated. This bitch was being bombarded, and I hate bombardment. Don't come at me from all different, like, and you not letting me rest or put a word in or say nothing. I will crash the fuck out and kill somebody. Like, girl. Like, she was being bombarded from all sides all the time. Like she could not get a break to just be her fucking self and feel safe in being her fucking self. And eventually she just conformed to being a trophy wife. So that motherfuckers will leave her alone, and she got this man here to protect her from other motherfuckers, and she could just, like, you know, if it gets to be too much, take naps. And that's why grandma took a lot of naps. Why does grandma take so many? Because she's tired and she's associating most of the time, love. That's why your aunties and your moms and your older generation of women are just sleeping all the fucking time, or they're irritable all the fucking time because they got some man, or they've had multiple men in their lives break them down, break down their beautiful magical butterflyness until there was nothing left, and they were tired, and it was a hair trigger. Everything became a hair trigger, and they just didn't want to be bothered by nobody. No, I can't end up like that. That shit is what stress causes diseases in your body, and then you die early, and you die horrible deaths from like horrible cancers and shit. And like, you're not gonna give me stress cancer. Like, I need you to love yourself so much that you are overjoyed and excited to share that love with me. Because I'm going to do the same for you. Like, I forget myself when I am with a man that I care about and love and shit. And it's not even, I don't even think, unless I'm actively being abused and not being poured into, I don't even think it's like a toxic thing. You just become my fixation person. This is like with my cat. Like, I be sitting trying to count her whiskers just to see how many whiskers she has, because I think it's interesting. I be like looking at the designs on her body and seeing how they're different from other tabby cats. Like, I just hyper focus on the people that I love and care about, and like that are close to me. Like I see them every day and stuff like that, because I do have that object permanence where if I don't see you all the time, like, I can forget that you exist and shit. But like, if you are constantly hitting me up, showing up, things like that, I will constantly be hitting you up and showing up for you and shit. You want to hang out, you initiating shit, I'm initiating shit. It's back and forth. I will, girl, and it's fun and I have a good time and shit. But it's like, they don't be pouring back into me, and then I get drained and shit, and I pour all of it out. And then they get mad at the shit that I'm pouring out after a while. Like, but you liked it in the beginning, so I don't understand. Like, so no, you need to pour into me as much or more than I pour into you. Like, cause you know, I'm top tier. My love is top tier. I will fight a nigga for you. I will hide a motherfucking body for you, nigga, if it's justified. If you out here serial killing and shit, but like, if it's self-defense and you're not going to jail. We'll figure it out. No, this nigga came at you and it was self-defense and you're not going to jail. We're going to figure this out. And until my dying day, I will fixate on making sure that you don't go to jail, just because that's the way my brain works. My love is top fucking tier, nigga. Like, I will, if you told me that you wanted to fly like Superman, bitch, I will, in my free time, just be researching, like, is that possible? Like, and then I'll find like lucid dream meditations and shit and be like, they said online that if you do these and you concentrate enough, like, maybe you could fly. And then like that nigga on TikTok that be like moving shit with his mind. Like, look at this nigga. He seems like he can move the leaves with his mind. Like you should try practicing this. So no, that's how deep my love is, motherfucker. Like, so I need the same. I need you coming up to me telling me about shit that I like. And being excited to show me shit. Like, I need that. And if you can't do that, then you don't even get the fuck away from me. So this bitch was trapped. She was being bombarded, and then she had to conform to being a trophy wife just to feel a modicum, not even a full amount of safety, because she can't be your full self. You can't be your full self, so you don't feel a modicum of safety. You are just safe enough to be protected by a man in 1975 and not be raped on the street, maybe. Because he's there to keep you from being raped on the street. Like, if he can fight. So no, nigga, I can't. This was a horror movie. Mahogany is a horror movie. Like, I feel like Jordan Peele should remake this as like I need the horror music. I need all of the horrorness in his mind. I need him to remake Mahogany as a horror movie, or like a black, a black woman director that directs horror movies and shit. That would be even better, because then it's coming from somebody that knows, that experiences it, and knows what it feels like. What black woman directors out there that have done like decent horror movies do y'all know? Put it down below, bitch. Let's make a list of these motherfuckers. Turn this shit into the horror movie it deserves to be. She wasn't happy at the end. She was miserable. Nick, this bitch was in Rome. She was jet setting. They try to make it seem like, oh, well, nothing compares to the love of a good man. Bitch. Like, if he had supported her and went with her and visited her often and things like that, half this shit wouldn't have happened. Half this shit that she experienced from these white men wouldn't have happened. I hate this for her. She probably lived a miserable life with this man. No, she has too much light and magic in her to be stifled like that. That turns into being overstimulated to the point where you just start dissociating, so that you don't pay attention to all the light and magic that is broiling inside of you that you can't let out. So you just associate. Like, this nigga really went to Rome and was like, I need you. I need your talent. I need you to build my career. I'm just like, so she's going to pour all of her design into your suits and ties and, your posters, and fuck what she want to do. Girl. What's going on? What? I just feel it. I just feel like a vice is squeezing my body when I watch this movie. When I think about this movie, it's like a vice is squeezing me, and it's getting tighter and tighter. The audacity of these niggas. And she was just trapped with no one. No one was there to support her. Nobody. Like, no. Never in life will you see me. God bless. God bless Tracy. I'm not gonna call her Mahogany. That's her slave name. That's the name. So that way, and it was like a slave master and shit. He gave her a slave name and said, that's what I give all my objects. Like, bitch, what is you talking, girl? Whew. All that nigga had to do was work with her. You're supposed to take the white man's money and use it for good. That's what you're supposed to do. He could have worked with her. They could have figured it out. And let me get the fuck off of here. I'm overstimulated. I'm upset. I can feel it all over me. It's upsetting. Bitch was trapped. Oh God, this is a horror movie. This is a horror movie. I feel afraid. And it's like, is it ever gonna happen that, like, no, my God moves mountains. I'm not even gonna. He created the multiverse and whatever else is outside that motherfucker. He's gonna send me my husband. It's gonna be reciprocal. There's gonna be reciprocity. He'll love me a little bit more than I love him. I need that. I need you to love me a little bit more than I love you, because then you're going to go above and beyond to show it, and it's going to be very, very obvious, and I'm not going to have to question shit. Oh, God. I hated this. This was horrible. This was a horrible ass movie, and just trigger warning. Oh, I hated it. It was the devil. This shit got an Oscar nominee and everything, and I just deserved, because I just, it's a good movie when you have a visceral, emotional reaction. Let me get off of here, because I can just keep rambling on, and it's because I just need to get it off my chest, and there's a deep well of bullfuckery in my soul right now that I just need to talk about. I can't, because it's going to last for hours, and You know, because now I'm just fixated on the idea of the audacity of these niggas, these dirty, rotten. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought. Later days.